make America great again. That would not be a good password.
Yeah.
But some random words, that is harder to crack on a computer than anything else, because the way the crackers are working nowadays, the cracking technologies, is much different than it used to be.
Morning, everybody. That was me with Mr. Jim Polito. And we broke down a couple of things today. First of all, a couple of security things, the truth about your passwords. We went into the whole hack here that led to the most expensive divorce in history, and also employment scams on the rise. Why is it happening? What should you be cautious of if you're looking for a new job? The FBI has a special warning out, so here we go with Jim.
Here he is. Always ahead of the curve. Always bringing us the latest from the world of tech talk. Our good friend, Craig Peterson. Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning. Things are always changing out there in the industry, and I've got to bring something up. You mentioned earlier today that really they're trying to bring some visibility into the whole password problem, right? And you talked about some of the advice that they were giving, and in fact, what iHeart makes you guys do, what is it? You have to change your passwords every 3 months, 90
every
days?
3 months, you have to change your password, and it can't be even close to the previous password.
That's a real common thing out there in the industry, just in general. But I got to tell you that the National Institute of Standards and Technology, which is the organization within the federal government that comes out with all of these security standards, changed that about a year ago. So you now have something to use against them, and here's why. Here's what's going on. If they make you come up with a new password every 3 months, what are the odds that, A, it's going to be a really good password, and B, you're not going to write it down somewhere where the cleaning lady can find it in your drawer, or even worse, and I know there's people listening that are going to go into the office immediately and take down the Post-it notes, because even worse, people write them on the Post-it note and stick it right on the computer. The current recommendations are that you come up with a good passphrase. So
phrase.
A phrase, yeah. None of this are special characters or numbers and all of this other stuff. But come up with a few random words. Pick 4 or 5 words that you can remember, that you can associate together. And you don't have to change it every 3 months. In fact, once a year is probably enough. And a phrase with 3 or 4 words that there aren't things like, make America great again. That would not be a good password.
Yeah.
But some random words, that is harder to crack on a computer than anything else, because the way the crackers are working nowadays, the cracking technologies, is much different than it used to be. So just a quick word of advice to people. If you're worried, oh my gosh, I don't change my password every 3 months and I don't have special characters and digits in it.
Yeah.
The best password, according to NIST, is just 4, maybe 5 words, random ones strung together, and that's your password. It's easier and quicker to type, too.
I have a new one. It is, could I please moo-moo face banana to the, no, could I please moo-moo face banana face to the dog patch?
Ooh, that would actually work.
I think Steve Martin. I think Steve Martin said that once. I'm stealing it from Steve Martin. But it's you don't want to use one like that, because then someone, if they know that expression, will say, "Oh, yeah, I remember Steve Martin said that." If they just get a few words, they'll say, "I'd like to take a guess at solving the puzzle."
Yeah, exactly. And especially if you say it on the radio, Jim.
I just gave out my password on the radio. All right. Well, it's Data Privacy Day, and that's why I brought it up. So a great day to have you with us, and a great day to warn people about a new scam the FBI is talking about. So you think you're applying for a job online, and that maybe you even got the job, and the fact is you're talking with a scammer online.
Yeah, isn't that something?
Yeah.
Here's the real trick behind that right now. The scammers, the bad guys, what are they doing? They always go after the latest stuff, maybe something that's in the news, et cetera, et cetera. And you know what? It turns out, I don't know, I listened to some of the House hearing here for the impeachment, and it would seem as though the job market's absolutely horrific. The economy is falling apart, and we've got the worst president in history. But I think the reality is more along the lines of, hey, I've had this job for 2, 3, 4 years now, and if you're a millennial, hey, I've had this job for 6 months now. I wonder if there's a better job out there, because I keep hearing that people are getting paid more, so they're looking for jobs. So you have, even though the job market is really, really tight for employers, you have all these people looking for jobs. So the scammers have figured out, you know what? We can get a lot of information from somebody that applies for a job, because people will fill out forms, right, Jim? And they'll give me their Social Security number, their employment history, their home address, their phone number. So people are now going online. They're looking for new jobs to see if they can do a little bit of an upgrade, which makes a whole lot of sense to me. And they are getting the victims to not only give all of this information to them, they're even getting people to pay them. And we're talking about these criminals who are, have these fake jobs, averaging about $3,000 per person, according to the FBI's advisory.
$3,000, which also means, by the way, some people were out $100,000.
Yeah,
because it's an average.
Are out nothing.
Yeah,
exactly. So they're now using these spoofed websites to harvest this person-identifiable information. And a spoofed website, of course, isn't like, instead of going to iHeart, you go to i-heart.com.
Yeah. Yep.
Right? And so you don't really notice that you went to the wrong website. And the criminals are also, they're also putting advertising in, legitimate ads from legitimate employers. So you go to the site, it really looks legitimate, right?
Yep.
And the bad guys are stealing the ads from the legitimate employers. They're doing everything. But that's because now employees are busy looking for other jobs because, what the heck, they might just find them.
We're talking with Craig Peterson, our good friend, Tech Talk guru. Got to be careful applying online. Make sure you know who you're talking to. If it sounds too good, it must be good, too good. Craig, in the time we have left, I want to ask about this. John had the story last week. Jeff Bezos, the phone hack that led to the exposure of his affair while he was married. But now they're saying that the Saudi prince, who's being accused of masterminding the murder of a journalist, is also being accused of the hack on Jeff Bezos' phone. Of course, the founder of Amazon.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about this a lot more on my podcast this weekend, which you can also find on the iHeart app now. Yay!
How do you like? Yay! Wait a minute, that deserves. There we go.
There we go. Yeah, and the easiest ways to find it is you just go to craigpeterson.com/iHeart. But here's what happened. Because, man, has the media been getting this report wrong. But let's start at the really high level. First of all, remember Jeff Bezos bought this fish wrapper out of Washington, D.C. You remember when that happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
This was, the Washington Post. So he bought this newspaper down in Washington, D.C., and it is, it's been around for a very long time, okay? It broke some amazing stories over the years, but it's just gone totally downhill. Well, the Washington Post had been criticizing the Saudi crown prince because of the murdering of this Jamal Khashoggi. And they were saying a lot of nasty things about it. So what ended up happening now, apparently, this is all allegations at this point, but apparently the Saudi crown prince got pretty upset that the Washington Post was saying all of these bad things about him and that they murdered this. I'll use the term journalist kind of loosely because I think that does apply here in the case of Khashoggi.
Yeah.
But at any rate, he wanted the Crown Prince apparently to have a little vengeance. So the owner of the Washington Post ultimately is Jeff Bezos, the richest man in the world.
Richest man in the world. Yep.
Here's what he did. This is kind of interesting because we use these apps all of the time. And apps are, they can be great. Sometimes they can be monitored. And there's something called end-to-end encryption. And when people are looking at apps to communicate, you really want end-to-end encryption. In other words, you don't want it set up in a way that somebody can intercept it. So apparently, Jeff Bezos uses an app called WhatsApp, which is owned by Facebook and does have end-to-end encryption. But here's what happened. It looks like they used some of the hacking software, what's known as a zero-day attack, against WhatsApp. And apparently there was a bug inside of the WhatsApp app. Now, think about this for a minute. For people that use WhatsApp or use any kind of a chatting or messenger program, if you're using your iPhone, it comes up and says, this app, WhatsApp, wants access to your photos and videos. And so you're sitting there thinking, okay, well, that's fine. I'm going to want to share videos and photos. So, yeah, go ahead. Let WhatsApp have access to. And that's true, obviously, on Android as well. A little more confusing on Android, but it's true in both cases. So apparently what happened was there was a bug that some people, there's still allegations here. I'm not solid on the reality of it, so I'm not going to make any names or other allegations here. But some people had found a bug in WhatsApp that allowed them to send you, a WhatsApp user, a video, and that video broke into and took over WhatsApp. And almost immediately after Jeff Bezos received this video from the Saudi prince, whether or not it was him is a different story, but received it from the Saudi prince, his phone started exfiltrating data. In other words, all of a sudden his phone started sending pretty much everything that was in his pictures and videos to apparently Saudi Arabia. And then what do you have? You have the most expensive divorce in history.
It was the most expensive divorce in history. How many? And she didn't even get half. And it was still, what did she get? Like 38 billion, 48 billion, bunch of property.
No, it's tough. It's tough to live on that. So he noticed something as his phone started slowing down. It was sending video data out at a rate of 106 million% higher than previously. So he noticed something was wrong, and he took it to a forensics group who started having a look at the phone. But it was a bug in WhatsApp, and that kind of concerns me. I'm sure it's going to be fixed if it hasn't been already. But, this has to do with, again, having 100, 200 apps on your phone. Think about it. All of those apps on your phone, what bugs are hidden away in there? How many apps do you really use? And as part of security awareness today, and I've said this for a long time, delete apps that you do not use frequently. Yeah. If you want real secure communications, if you're using an iPhone, Messages is probably all you need. Messages and FaceTime. They both do a great job. And because Apple's paying close attention to it, bugs like this are likely to get fixed very, very quickly. And this is what happened. This is the new world that we're living in today. All of these application developers and these cool little apps that we have that morph your face to make it look like you're 20 years older or younger are stealing our data, and in some cases, like this morphine app, are being sent to Russia, and you lose all rights to any pictures that are uploaded, and who knows what they're doing with them once they get there. So get rid of these apps that you're not using, and don't trust them 100%. If you think something weird is happening, it might be. And one real quick thing I got to say, and that is that when we get involved with an investigation for a business, on behalf of a business that thinks they might have been hacked, thinks something might be going on, 99% of the time, Jim, we get a call, something's going on with our email. We're not sure what it is. And then when we dig into it more, we find Chinese backdoors, Russian hacks.
Yeah.
We find, right now, Iran's attacking our customers. It's just amazing what's happening out there.
All right. And what's happening out there, you need to know. And you find out that, all of that in this segment, but also every other day if you get on board with Craig Peterson. So all you have to do is text my name, Jim, to this number.
855-385-5553. That's just text Jim to 855-385-5553.
Standard data and text rates apply. And Craig Peterson will not annoy you, bother you, sell you something, hack you. Don't worry about it. Craig, thank you so much. Great segment. We'll talk with you next week.
Hey, thanks, Jim. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, when we return...
Hey, everybody, I want to let you know we have been really working hard on the best guides you have ever seen that we're going to be giving away for free as part of a webinar that we've been working on that's going to be the best webinar ever. Of course, all centered on transforming your security posture, and more. So keep an eye out on your email, craigpeterson.com/subscribe. That's the only way you're going to find out about it. Take care, everybody. Be back tomorrow. Bye-bye.